I'm Shane Downey, coming to you live from GBTA Canada here at the broadcast studio in Toronto. Today I am joined with Kathy Mouw, Vice President, Global Sales, US and Canada at Marriott International. Kathy, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. So, as a leader in the hospitality industry, we know that Marriott International is focused on shaping the future of annual business travel pricing process through efficiencies. Are there any insights that you can share on how Marriott views the changing landscape and vision for the future?
So there's a lot packed into that question, but this, business transient is such an important segment to our business, and will always be a very important segment to our business. When we talk about real ADR growth, we are still down probably into the upper double digits to 2019 if you factor in inflation. So with that being said, we're working across working with our customers on efficiencies and things that we can do to make the pricing process better. I think there's a lot of opportunity in the small to mid business kind of segment. So we're looking to see what type of solutions we can put in place there. So for example, I lead our global sales organization. We don't have enough resources to deploy against all of the small to mid-sized business. So we have to think differently about how we're going to meet the needs of that traveling population and the customers that we work with in those segments. So we really are putting a lot of thought into what solutions would be best received and most valuable to the customers in that segment. In addition, we see, or our customers see, in volatility in that segment, as well as availability of rooms, quite frankly, midweek as our occupancies are picking back up. So those are kind of some things that we're focused on right now for better efficiencies. I think with some of the customers that we're working with now in the traditional way that we've been doing pricing, I think we might all agree that it's a little bit of a difficult process and maybe has some opportunities for some work. So that's what we're really kind of looking at to see what we can do to streamline the overall time that it takes. We have fewer resources. The customers that we're talking to, they have fewer resources. So looking to see what we can do together.
All right. Changing gears for a second.
Okay.
Given the substantial significance, what measures is Marriott implementing to tackle DEI, diversity, inclusion, equity, issues within the travel industry?
So that's a really great question and has been a big topic of conversation within our own company and within our customer based community. And I like to look at it, we kind of talk about it within our organization as social impact and inclusive hospitality. And so when I'm thinking about, and Marriott, just from a historical standpoint, inclusion and inclusive hospitality, that's been a big focus of ours since 1927, yeah, when we first opened, and is a really big part of our core values, whether it's our associates, whether it's our travelers, that we welcome all. So, no matter what your abilities are, no matter who you love, we welcome all. And we want to make sure that whether it's our associates that are walking in the door or our guests, that they all feel that the minute that they walk in. That being said, from our kind of business transient community, we've been focusing a lot on accessibility. And we heard that here at GBTA this week with a great panel that was on stage yesterday. So a lot of work still to do in that space, and whether we're looking at it from a mobility standpoint or also from a neurodivergent standpoint. This is where we've been doing a lot of work lately with Google and the New project on neuro-inclusivity. So think about some of our guests that maybe don't show a visible sign or a need for accessibility. They could have ADHD. They could have dyslexia, OCD, or other kind of sensory processing challenges. And so those areas we're focused not only on the business travel side, but also on the meetings side as well. And a lot of it has been focused on training on the meeting side within our events team, and then training at the front desk as well to recognize and be able to better address needs across many different areas, from mobility to neurodiversity.
I mean, the training is just so paramount to making that all work. So, in 2023, we saw in the news that Marriott continues to acquire and develop new brands. With more than 30 brands in the marketplace now, do you ever get concerned that you have too many?
Well, I think one of our, Mr. Marriott has said over and over again, more. We need, more. And whether that's, it could mean more, could be in a lot of different things, but as it relates to brands and unit growth, I think that we'll be continually looking for opportunities where we can grow to meet every travel purpose. So if that's looking at location, if that's looking at trip purpose, where are we? Where do we need to be to meet those traveler needs? And one of the big areas that, we've been announcing a lot of different things, and we have a lot of organic unit growth, but we are right now kind of really leaning into affordable mid-scale. And so that's been a big focus for us. I think last year, with the announcement of City Express, that was an additional 17,000 rooms in Mexico, Costa Rica, Colombia, and Chile. Looking to see where we can potentially even expand that brand. In the US and Canada specifically, the announcement last year on Studio Res, which is our new affordable mid-scale extended stay brand that we're launching. We just broke ground on the first one in Fort Myers this past January, and the expectation for this brand is to grow to in the next several years to about 300 units in about 150 different markets across the US and Canada. So that, and then looking at other regional opportunities. In EMEA, for example, the 4 Points by Sheraton Express is a growth vehicle for mid-scale. So we're really leaning into some mid-scale opportunities now, but I keep hearing that there's other discussions that are happening, so I keep my mind open and my team ready to see what we need to do to fill those hotels.
That's fantastic. Thank you for joining us today at the GBTA Broadcast Studio, coming to you live from Toronto, Canada. We'll see you soon.